This past weekend, the Henry County Hall of Fame inducted 5 new members, trailblazers in their communities. Each left lasting impacts on sports and created names for themselves through the years of dedication and achievement. News 4's Sarah Sims spoke with 2 of the newest inductees, Eunice Knight and Joe Ard. Eunice Knight made history as the first female in the Wiregrass to officiate a boys' high school basketball game and spent over 47 years breaking barriers in athletics. Now, she also led the first all-female officiating crew to call a regional boys championship game. Now, Joe Ard, on the other hand, a multi-sport standout from Headland High School. He made his mark in both baseball and football, earning all-star honors and even being featured in USA Today. The two share not only a place in the Hall of Fame, but a long-time friendship, having even played ball together. Here's what that honor means to them.
This one is special because it's home. This is where I'm from.
That's what makes it even better, being my hometown. I don't think anything could ever top this.
The event happens once a year and continues to hold deep meaning for the people of Henry County.